Kia ora and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon and we are going through the entire trading post list of weapons, equipment and war gear in Necromunda. So, without further ado, in this episode we're going to go into grenades very quickly. Now, I've covered grenades a little bit when we talked about grenade launchers in the special weapons section. But this is regarding grenades, you know, your standard grenades that fighters have that can throw and chuck around the board. I really like grenades in Necromunda. I think they're great, particularly on Ogryns, who can throw them even further. But there's not a huge amount here in the list. Again, this is just the stuff that's on the trading post. We're not going to go into the rare and weird stuff that you can get, which I know full well there are far more grenade types out there which are more potent and more interesting. But we won't talk about those today. We'll just keep with the basic ones. Starting off, we have blasting charges. Now, blasting charges, you can throw them strength times 2. So on the average fighter, you're looking at throwing them only 6 inches. Now that's pretty dangerous because they have a 5-inch blast template. So if you miss, you're quite likely to hit yourself here. Now, this does change a lot depending on the strength of the fighter throwing them, of course, because grenades go off your strength times however much. Now, with the blasting charge, though, you only get times 2, whereas most grenades give you times 3 of your strength. But these ones, they're strength 5, they're -1 AP, they're 2 damage and they're 5 up ammo. So with other weapons, then you have to roll the firepower dice. With grenades, you don't have as many of them, so you have to roll to see if you run out, regardless of whether you roll the ammo dice. You don't need to roll the ammo dice, basically. You just run out if you fail the ammo check. So these guys are pretty potent. Really good. They've also got knockback as well, and a 5-inch blast template is pretty potent. So really nice grenades. They're not that expensive, but compared to guns that do similar things, I mean, grenades are more of a fluffy option most of the time. That's the blasting charge anyway. Choke gas grenades. Now, choke gas grenades are pretty nasty. Again, strength times 3 here. They do not have strength, they do not have AP, they do not have damage, they have a 5 up ammo. They have a 3-inch blast and they are gas. So gas works off your toughness. If you beat that person's toughness, basically, they don't get any save, it's just straight to injury. So regardless of how many wounds you've got. So if you throw that at an enemy leader and they fail that, and you beat their toughness, then that enemy leader is taking an injury. So pretty nasty, but only a 3-inch template, luckily. Again though, they're very expensive for what they do. I think they're about 50 credits, and you could do better things with that credit cost, I think. The next one, really fun, is the demo charge. Now, the demo charge, again, is similar to the blasting charge, but more powerful. So it's strength times 2. It's, in terms of range, it's strength 6 as opposed to strength 5, like the blasting charge. It's -3 AP, though. It's 3 damage, and it is a single shot. So you can only shoot one once per battle, but that's fine because whatever you hit is basically dead and you don't need to do it again anyway. But this is a 5-inch blast again. And of course, the demo charge oddly doesn't have knockback. I feel like it probably should, but it doesn't. It's made for taking down buildings essentially, so there you go, demolition. It's going to demolish anything you chuck at it. I had, Selby had an Orlock specialist or champion or ganger, I can't remember what his name was, but he had demo charges and would quite often drop them on people's heads from the top of buildings and stuff, and it was quite effective. He had several of them as well, which is very expensive, but really cool, really fluffy. So there you go. Incendiary charge next, which is definitely one of the most powerful grenade types in that it's basically a flame. It's like a Molotov cocktail, so you're chucking a blaze template, and it's a 5-inch template too, which is really nasty. This one is strength times 3. Strength 3 weapon. It's damage 1, 5 up on the ammo, and it's got blaze. So a 5-inch blaze template, really powerful. I think they're 40 credits, correct me if I'm wrong, but 40 credits for a weapon that powerful is very good. Very effective on Ogryn gangs with hazard suits, as I'm sure some of you are aware. Really good for redemptionists and Caller as well, who also get access to these too. And a few other gangs too. They're actually quite easy to get hold of, incendiary grenades. A few people have them on their house lists, so yeah, not as rare as you'd think, because you can just make them out of bottles and petrol and stuff. The next one is a crack grenade. Now these have little to zero use in the game. They are really bad actually for the cost. They're quite expensive. Off the top of my head, I don't even know how expensive they are because I just would flat out ignore them. But these are ×3 strength in the range, -1 at long range though, which is really crap because there's no short range. That's strength 6, -2 AP, 2 damage, 4 up, and a demolition grenade. So you can use them to destroy building features, doors, things like that. So it's completely situational, but you're not really going to use these things in most games unless you have specific scenarios and campaigns that you play regularly, then sure. But otherwise crap actually, so you might as well call them crap grenades. See what I did there? Next one is the Meltabong. So melter bombs are quite similar actually. They're not nearly as bad as melter weapons, but these ones are demolitions as well, so they hit structures and stuff, so they're good at taking out enemy pieces of terrain and equipment and stuff. So that might work more in the new Outcasts campaign maybe, where you actually got terrain and stuff, that terrain features more often, gunk tanks, things like that. I'm not really sure, but again, I've never seen much use for these guys. But they're strength 8, -4 AP and 3 damage. Again, -1 to hit if you're chucking them. So I think the idea with the crack and the melter is that you place them on stuff and just explode it basically. So there you go. They've also got obviously the melter trait, and they're scarce. So once they're gone in the game. The next one, and probably my favourite grenade, I'm going to say it actually, I'm saying it now, my favourite grenade is the Photon Flash grenade. So, Photon Flash is a blinding light, and it's a 5-inch template. It doesn't do any damage, but they ruin your activations. So, I've said this in the last one with the grenade launcher, but Photon Flash, for anyone under the template, you need to pass an initiative check. If you fail that initiative check, you lose your ready marker. Now, sounds like, oh, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. My fighters aren't getting killed. Now, just play a game with Photon Flash grenades, and you'll see how powerful they can be. Especially because they're like 15 credits or something ridiculous like that. Escher are great with them. They're just great in general, to be honest. Something that I would always take in most games if I can get hold of them. Just to interrupt your enemy's plans, basically, because it's a tactical game at the end of the day, and in fact, Necromunda is the most tactical game I can think of other than chess. So, yeah, Photon Flash, I rate it highly. I'll give that an A star for the Photon Flash because they're just my favourite grenades. Or there is shard grenades, but I'm not going to go into that because they're just horrific. Now, after that, of course, we've got the smoke grenade, which is equally as good, if not more popular, I suppose, than the Photon Flash grenade. I don't use them as much because I rely on terrain more, but smoke grenades are great for just screening. You chuck them on the ground and you can't be seen by anyone who hasn't got either photo goggles or an infrasight. So, but you can still charge through them, you can still do stuff through it, you should still shoot templates through them. You can't target the ground into the smoke and stuff, but the other thing about smoke is it can stick around as well for multiple turns if you're lucky. So really great for locking off those firing lines and moving close combat fighters in. Really effective for corpse grinders and Ogryns and stuff like that need to move up the board to try and get into close combat range, basically. And the last one is stun grenades, which are a bit of a wet fart, I suppose. Stun grenades, they have a use, they're kind of fun. They're more fluffy though. The thing about stun grenades is they're only strength 2. They are -1 AP though, which is quite nice to have on a grenade. They're 4 up ammo, they're 1 damage, but they have concussion, so they have a 3-inch blast and concussion. And concussion, as we said before, reduces your initiative, so you're more likely to fall off gantries, things like that. With stun grenades, they're pretty good, and they're nice and cheap actually, so they're definitely something that you can add. And I really like those last 3, the stun, the smoke, and the Photon Flash grenades, because they're very disruptive grenades that aren't really going to hurt people, but are going to give you stuff to think about. Really tactical, nice way of playing the game. So there you go. That was grenades. So yeah, please like, share, subscribe, comment if I've got any of those things wrong. And I hope that's provided some insight into grenade types. I really like grenades. I use them in every single gang in some way, shape or form. In the game, a lot of people don't. They'll use just grenade launchers. I like to throw grenades around. It's great. I like the fluff of it. I also like the fact that they don't take up weapon slots as well. So that's another thing you've got to bear in mind. So there you go. Anyway, peace out.